Chapter 8, The Family and Delinquency. This is a narrated version of this chapter PowerPoint. Introduction. The family is the most basic institution. The nuclear family is changing. The family is significant to the study of delinquency because it's a buffer against antisocial behavior in children and a source of antisocial behavior. Families can be positive. Families can also be negative, including abuse, neglect, or exploitation of children. Racism, social inequality, poverty, and language barriers can also negatively affect kids. The functions of the family. The family is important to society. The important functions are raising kids responsibly, providing economic support, and providing emotional support. The number of family members and their roles can greatly influence family dynamics. Challenges in the family today. Modern families come in several varieties. Single parents can be either male-headed or female. Cohabitating parents, two adults who live together without being formally married. Blended, adults with kids from former marriages. And gay and lesbian, kids from prior heterosexual relationships, adopted children, or biological children via surrogates. The adequacy of parents vary greatly. The family isn't always a good place for children to grow up in, which is a concern for the juvenile justice system. Good parenting requires providing a positive role model, encouraging productive behavior, engaging in adequate supervision, and instituting effective discipline. Wealthy parents might overschedule their children and have work or social obligation. Impoverished parents might always be at work, might live in dangerous neighborhoods, or be unable to provide extra opportunities or schooling. Child victimization in the family. Tolstoy, a family can be dysfunctional in many ways. All families are affected by outside forces, including quality of the neighborhood, availability of jobs, and availability of good schools. Child neglect. Wallace, quote, the negligent treatment or maltreatment of a child by a parent or caretaker under circumstances indicating harm or threatened harm to a child's health or welfare, unquote. From monetary inattention to gross action or inaction. How do neglectful parents differ from those who take good care of their children? According to Wallace, an inability to plan, lack of knowledge, lack of judgment, and lack of motivation. Common forms of neglect include failure to thrive syndrome, a measurable lack in height, head size, and/or development due to environmental factors and not an illness or disorder. Emotional neglect, acts or omission of acts that are judged to be psychologically damaging to the child, unsafe home environment, drug and alcohol use, medical neglect, and abandonment. Warning signs of physical child abuse include unexplained injury, impossible explanations, different versions of an incident, different explanations, delay in seeking medical attention. 4 types of injuries can include bruises, burns, bone fractures, and head or internal injuries. Infants bear the most physical abuse, which tapers off sharply upon adolescence. Parents are the most frequent physical abusers of children. Sexual child abuse. Younger children are more likely to be sexually victimized than older children. Sexual abuse tapers off sharply at the age of 14. Parents represent only 3% of sexual abusers. Girls are sexually abused almost 3 times more often than boys. Divorce. Close relationship between divorce and delinquency. Kids' age and sex play a role in adjustment. Boys might be affected more than girls. Research. When the number of single-parent households rises, so do status offending and delinquency. Social support in the family. Family support greatly influences the chances that a child will engage in delinquency. Rules and discipline, setting boundaries, parental nurturing and supervision, work can require much of parents' attention. Family conflict. Contributors to delinquency are high degree of family conflict and spousal abuse. Kids sometimes cause conflict. Many good parents struggle with teens. Changes in family circumstances can alter family roles. Parents and siblings. Parents' law-breaking behavior can lead to delinquency in children. Are aggressive tendencies inherited or learned. Children of antisocial parents are watched more closely by authorities. An acorn doesn't fall far from the tree. Youths who begin delinquency early have more time to progress into serious crime and might miss some of the positive aspects of childhood. Siblings might also be a negative influence. Younger siblings are eager to gain the approval of older siblings and might break the law in order to be accepted. That ends this narrated PowerPoint presentation.